Hi, my YouTube viewers. How are you today? I'm coming kind of late with my story, but I just wanted to come back again and give you an update that Eddie Long did answer to the claims against him. Still, he says that he's not guilty. He did take the boys on trips. He did give them money and he did buy them things because he was just trying to be their pastor to help them in their lives, but he's still guilty because I'm pretty sure when he went on all these trips, no one else was present with him, and even his own members were like saying they don't know if it's true or not. They still unclear about certain things, so they really can't really say that he's not guilty, and they can't say he is guilty. But all of us that have been following the story, what pastor with his kind of wealth would even put himself in a position to even stay in the room with young men or with anybody? Most pastors I know in their time of ministry try to keep themselves out of harm's way. And most of the time when they do stay somewhere, they always try to stay in a room alone so that they can be able to go through their word and pray. They always stay prayed up. So right there, I'm not feeling Eddie Long's story. Something happened with those young men. And nothing's going to change my mind about that. Even his appearance does not even represent a man walking godly. What pastor will wear a robe with his exposing himself? Anything of his body, it shouldn't even be exposed. Because you know that you don't want to leave any room for the adversary, for the enemy, because people are always going to be watching you. He's been in this for over 20 something years of ministry. He should know these things. If he's really walking as close as he is with that word of God, he knows that he's supposed to keep himself at a certain standard at all times. In the book of Timothy, you go to the book of Timothy, First Timothy chapter 3, verses 1. It tells you a bishop is not to be found blameless. You leave no reproach. And even if you are charged against something, you don't even have to open your mouth to even defend yourself. The Spirit will speak for itself. So, if anybody believed that he's saying that nothing happened, that's still a man just trying to save his face and also to save his assets. He doesn't care about saving the souls. Jesus, when he was brought before Pontius Pilate and he was asked, was he the man of God? Jesus didn't even say a word. Jesus could have saved himself from going on the cross, but Jesus knew he had to die for righteousness. And that's just a story to come to tell us that when we walk in righteously for God, we don't have to defend ourselves. When it's time for us to be accused and brought up against people for righteousness, we're supposed to be glad about that because we know we're doing what we have to do for the Lord. And even if he is being framed or by the gay community or people that was upset about him speaking against gay and lesbians and same-sex marriages, he don't even have to defend himself. He said, my lawyers told me not to talk. Jesus didn't even have a lawyer. So we all know that this is not about God. It's about him. Those of us that do read our word and have a personal relationship with God in our lives, and we don't go to church to be about the pastor, because even if it was about my own pastor, anything scandalous come out about my pastor, I wouldn't want to worship there anymore because that wouldn't be good for my spiritual growth. Um, well, New Missionary Baptist Church, if you've been following the updates on what's going on in the ministry at your church and what's going on with your leader, um, I don't know what to tell you if you want to continue to stay under poor leadership like that, and when the church is right now under this kind of scandal, I would try to seek somewhere else for worship. At least until all of this is actually cleared up. Because it doesn't look good for your bishop at all. This doesn't look good. And of course, a lot of it is not being put out to the media, what's going on. You have to go on certain websites to find out about what's taking place with Eddie Long and the young boys, the young men. And there was also some kind of rally that was given over there in Atlanta at down at some dome or whatever, and he didn't even show his presence. So if he was really about Jesus, he would even think about what's going on right now with the scandal and the charges are being brought up against him. He would just go forward and continue to move ahead and carry his people ahead in the word of God and doing what God calls him to do. Instead, he's too busy. He sends a message on an iPad or whatever to one of the media people out there saying that he's had a family emergency. His son was there in the presence. I'm so sorry for that young man. He's probably just as confused and he has his doubts, I'm pretty sure, as well. Because if daddy was taking all these trips with all these other young men, why wasn't he there to tag along? That's his father. And he's trying to be a role model and a father to all these other young people. So why wasn't his son present to be a part of that? Makes you wonder. So all I can do is just bring you some of the updates and what's going on and what's taking place. I mean, I know I'm not trying to be a gossiper, but I am a person out here trying to keep us Christians informed of what's taking place in the black churches because it's about all of us. It's happening to all of us. I mean, what's going on with him is also affecting a lot of other churches around in our community. Now, me myself, I don't really care for high profile churches because I don't truly believe they really out for the people. I believe they're out more for business or for about getting themselves a name and just profiling, like you say, high profiling. And when things like this happen, they all about trying to save themselves and instead of trying to save souls. When you call to do God business, sometimes you just got to put yourself last and put Christ in the head of your life and put yourself in Christ's place as far as like going to the cross and standing for the cause and going down for what you believe in. And that's what it's all about. If you're going to be the head, these are the things you have to lead to follow for the followers. These are the things you have to lead to Christ. So don't just be about it when it's all going good for you. You got to be about it when it's not going so good for you. So I'm out of here. This has been Real Talk for Christians. I mean, if you like this video, give me thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. But may the peace of God pass with all understanding. Guard your heart, your mind, and your money. Be blessed.